The last video I posted on YouTube was really serious, so I'm kind of trying to go in a different direction this time, a pop culture direction. But I'm going to tie it back to my usual content. We're going to talk about Bridgerton. Now, it's well known that this bad bitch, Lady Danbury, is just that, a bad bitch. And she is the powerful woman hero of the show. But I want to submit another candidate for that position. Another hero of Bridgerton, overlooked, underappreciated, overcriticized. Lady Featherington. I know, super controversial opinion, right? Lady Featherington is a hero, and I'll tell you why. Think about everything that we've been talking about, both here and on other apps, the trust we put in men and how often they disappoint us within patriarchy. What so many men prove themselves to be is just unreliable, and how often we are in danger from them. We advise women now to, if you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, make sure you have your own money. Don't buy a house with your boyfriend. Like all of these things to safeguard ourselves when we are engaged in romantic relationships with heterosexual men. Now, because Bridgerton takes place before women had the vote, before women could own their own property, during the time of coverture, the only way that you can protect yourself is to find some way around that system. So the main thing is money, right? You have to find a way to control your own money. Even if you technically, legally don't have title to it, you could still have control of it. And Lady Featherington is a master at this. And I know she's not the nicest mother. She's not the nicest person. But unlike others, she doesn't really care about being likable, because she knows being likable in the end is a lie. Being likable doesn't keep you safe. So for as much as Lady Featherington conforms to all the patriarchal standards of what a woman is and is supposed to be, she knows it's a lie. But she knows it's the only way to navigate this system. It's her coping mechanism for this system. Who does that sound like to you?
You said men today want to get chased? Okay, call the police on the man. I could take down your credit card number, sir.
Do you know what is romantic? Security. Be smart, Penelope.
Sounds a lot like Sprinkle Sprinkle. What are you bringing to the table? Yeah, I'm Lady Featherington. That's what I'm bringing to the table. And I know that in our minds, Penelope and Colin are the thing. Pollen, we are shipping them 100%. But in real life, Colin would not be a possibility, because we all know that fairy tales are nonsense. There is no Prince Charming. There's no one coming to save you. And in a sense, Penelope sees Colin as her savior. She sees any man as her savior, because getting married is her ticket out from under her mother's thumb. Even if she doesn't have to put up with her mother anymore, if one of her sisters gives birth to the heir, she has to be under the thumb of one of her sisters, who are the cruelest, most horrible people she knows. And this is before a time when women could just go out and live on their own. That world didn't exist yet. Lady Featherington is the unappreciated hero of Bridgerton because she understands the fundamental truth. And I've said this on multiple platforms many times. And that truth is, men are not reliable. Because she put her life in Lord Featherington's hands, and she put the lives of her 3 daughters in Lord Featherington's hands. And what did he do?
What are you doing in here?
Rush, I found your ledgers. I know of every transaction. I know about your gambling. I know about your debts. I know that you have spent all of our money.
I shall not.
Including our girls' dowries.
He gambled away his money. He probably gambled away whatever money her family gave him in her dowry. And he gambled away her children's money. This man put not only her own safety and security at risk, but that of his own children. And Lady Featherington is very good at navigating a system where men are allowed to do whatever they want and women have no power. And she figures out a way not only to get money for herself and for her daughters, but to make sure that she's the one that controls it. And she even says it in the beginning of season 3. She says, this would be great because now we have all the money we need. We can buy our dresses, we can hire our staff, and we don't have to take orders from a man. And she's very good at managing this stuff. If Lady Featherington were a man, she'd be very dangerous because she is really smart and she doesn't care. Talk about zero fucks given, right? She's the queen of zero fucks given. We all know that as much as we want to see Penelope fall in love and get married and be happy, chubby girl makes good. We like to see the story of the underdog, the wallflower that everybody thought was unattractive and have no value, be valued, adored, and be happy. We all know that that's not how these stories work out in life. That is not how they work out. And in the real world, you want a Lady Featherington in your life, not a Lady Bridgerton. Lady Featherington is my hero because, number one, she understands the power structure of the Ton. She knows the hierarchy. She knows how it works. She knows how power is wielded, and she knows how to navigate that world. Number two, she's not worried about being liked. And that is a tough hurdle to get over when you're a woman because we are conditioned our entire lives to be likable. But in the pursuit to be likable, we surrender a lot of our power and we don't make smart moves that we should be making. And finally, number three, she sees the world as it is rather than what she would like it to be. Lady Featherington has no interest in fantasy. She is all about reality. And also think about this. Privilege. The Bridgertons can afford to look for love matches. You know why? They have more money than the Featheringtons. The Bridgertons are loaded. So even if Eloise never gets married, she's not going to starve. She'll always have a place to live, she'll have an allowance, and her family is kind. They would never force her to marry someone because they need the cash or because they want to offload her off someone else's hands. Cressida Cowper's parents, they're going to force her to marry someone because I'm guessing that the dad needs money. Because otherwise, I feel like they wouldn't be pressuring her so much to find a match this season. I think there's some money issue with Cressida's family as well. Because her parents are really horrible and they're treating her horribly. Unlike the Bridgertons, they don't have the luxury of love. They don't have enough money to withstand either a bad match or no match. My favorite scene is the one in the second season where Lady Featherington confronts Cousin Jack, the new Lord Featherington, and he says something like, you're horrible, you're a monster. And she says,
I am a mother.
I'm a mother. First and foremost, Lady Featherington is protecting her children. She doesn't always do it in the kindest way.
Penelope, put down that book at once. You shall confuse your thoughts.
Oh, Penelope.
She doesn't always do it in the most loving way, in the most palatable way to our modern sensibilities. But she does it. And she knows that the only way that women can wield power is through their sons. If you give birth to the heir, if you are carrying the heir to the title, that's a lot of power.
There is, I trust, every reason to hope both of you might, before long, be presenting the family with an heir.
And that's really the only way women can wield power. Through men in that time. And she knows that. So that's why she's desperately trying to get one of her daughters pregnant so they'll give birth to an heir so that they'll be able to control the family money. And they won't let someone gamble it all away like her husband did. I love Lady Bridgerton. I love Lady Danbury. And by the way, Lady Danbury doesn't worry about being liked either. She's about hooking up the best matches because she knows if you want to wield power in the ton, if you want to wield power at court, it's all about marriage connections, social connections, family ties and bonds, and money, and preserving the money and passing it down to the next generation. So she's always looking around, who needs connections? Who deserves connections? Who works best together? What families, which marriages will be the most beneficial to those two families? And also she thinks about, which people do I like and want to help? And she likes Lady Bridgerton. They've known each other a long time, since she was a little girl. So there it is.